Welcome aboard my 2002 Subaru Forester. Wait a minute, this isn't a boat. Anyway, I bought this car a couple of weeks ago and I have done basically nothing to it. It's got like 180,000 miles on it. It smells like cigarette smoke. And I'm taking it on a 5-hour, 300-mile road trip in the middle of the night. Literally, it's midnight right now. This is a very dumb idea. So, let's get on with it. We're about the halfway point. It's been about 150 miles, gone for 2.5 hours. There are little wisps of smoke coming out from underneath, but nothing too horrible. I'll make sure we're topped off. I've got some spare oil that I can put in there. It's just leaky head gaskets. There's really nothing out of the ordinary for these old Subarus. They just leak. The tires are a little bit worn, but mostly okay. Of course, I'm gonna replace the tires and the brakes eventually, but I don't see much of a need to do that right now. You know, a used car is interesting when it comes with a milk crate full of fluids.
Oh, he needs some milk.
And let's take a look under the engine while we're stopped for gas. It's pretty much as bare bones as it gets, but that's good for reliability. And especially good for maintenance. It's all metal under here, no plastic covering anything up. It's super easy to track down problems. I know because I've already tracked down at least one electrical gremlin in here. It was easy enough to track it down because it's all out in the open and it's all easy enough to see. This is a boxer engine, so you have two pistons going horizontally that way and two going this way, and they box against each other. Subarus are known for this engine, but this engine is known to fail. It's good and it's bad. Extremely reliable until it isn't, but it's okay. Also, it's a Subaru. It's got all-wheel drive. Every single Subaru is all-wheel drive. I'm sure someone's gonna come up with some weird exception. 99.9% of Subarus are all-wheel drive. That means it can do some pretty interesting stuff, even stock.
Check them out.
So it's a fun little car, and I got it for cheap. The car's fueled up. I'm fueled up. It is 2:30 in the morning. Still got half this journey to go. And just like that, we made it through the night. For $1,100, I could not ask for a better car. We are now at an undisclosed location. It's my parents' garage. Yeah, it turns out when you live on a boat, you don't have a lot of space to work on cars. I'm going to turn this into a tiny little RV. Now I'm going to toss it over to Microsoft Paint Me, where I'm going to show you kind of what this thing might look like at the end. Hello and welcome to First Grade Show and Tell. This is a picture of a car that I drew on the computer. How cool do you think this is? But for real though, this is kind of what I want the Subaru to look like at the end of the day. The gray stripe every other RV paint job you've ever seen has had these swooshes that go everywhere, and of course those paint jobs cost $10,000 plus. This one is going to be maybe $100 in an hour or two with rattle cans. Now let's talk about this tube frame right here. I don't know if anybody makes any kind of tube frame for a Subaru Forester. So I'm probably going to have to make it myself if I really want this. And that could be a whole lot of fun because I've always wanted to learn how to weld and fabricate this kind of stuff, and that could be a really, really fun project sometime down the line. These wheels are, basically ignore the wheels. I know they would never work in real life. These are, I guess, beadlock. I don't know. I just drew them because they look cool, but real life wheels would need some kind of venting for the brakes to cool off. Hummers don't need that because their brakes are mounted inboard, but this obviously is always going to need some kind of different wheels than what you see here. Blacked out the back because hopefully I'll be able to have some kind of living space in there. That would be nice. I don't know if I'm allowed to like straight up paint it black, but it will be very darkly tinted no matter what. And up top, I've got this little lump here that hopefully is going to house a twin-size bed. I measured it. It's exactly the right length and width for a twin-size bed. So if I can fabricate a fiberglass shell big enough to hold a twin-size bed in there, in some kind of latch system to lift it up and hold it in place with some canvas walls, that could be a pop-up top, like completely homemade. Mind you, this does not exist. It's only in my imagination, but a place to put an actual bed on a car this size is really cool without sacrificing any of the interior space. And on the back I have this jerry can mounted, but hey, who the heck really needs that? I could also somehow put a generator on the back, lock that in place if I need to, or a swing gate with a big old spare tire. That could work too. And you have to take all of this with a grain of salt because, of course, this is just an MS Paint SketchUp of a car I bought on a whim, and I've spent maybe like 5 hours working on this car total so far. So this is a long way from being a reality, but I think it could be cool. First thing to accomplish that goal is we have to rip out the interior as much as possible. Deep cleaning as we go the parts that we keep. Getting ready to install some kind of maybe like a sink area, a little kitchen. Basically ripping it down to the bare metal so that I have space to build. So let's get going with that. Big shout out to my dad. He was there every step along the way for this. But just like me, he's never done anything like this. So it was pretty awesome for us both to be learning about this kind of stuff as we go. We've got a runner. Oh boy, I hate those things.
He's not running.
Well, he was. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Spare is out. If I ever do want to install some kind of water system in this, this wheel well here is going to be the perfect spot to put equipment like that. Some kind of tank could fit here. Something to use that space more effectively. I'm just going to start ripping some of this stuff out. I mean, I don't really have any reason to keep any of it. Just if it can come out, it will. Sorry. This back seat is held on with some kind of clip where the seat has to go backward. Got it! For it to come up. Oh man. Alright. How do I get it out now? Whoa. Whew. Nike receipt from 2007, so this is from St. Augustine, Florida actually. So this car has been in Northeast Florida 13 years, 14 years at least. I expected it to be from some other place because there's like some corrosion on the underbody I thought would be from like salt on the roads, but if it's been in Florida that long, I don't know why there's corrosion. That could be a red flag. We'll have to wait and see for the future. So you brought up a good point, Dad, which is why spend all the time and effort to take everything out? You've got a 2021 Jeep Wrangler and you took out the back seats, but you didn't take out like the liner and everything else. So what are your thoughts on this project here?
I wouldn't have gone through the trouble to take all this out. I think now that we've taken it out, I see the value. Some of the value is that you can clean up some of this mess.
Because it is an absolute junkyard in here.
That's number one. Number two, I see a whole lot of bolting.
There's a lot of anchor points where you can put stuff down more securely without creating your own anchor spots.
But the main difference is that's a 2021, and I know what crap is underneath all my panels. There.
And we just decided it makes sense while we have most of the interior stripped out to take out the front seats too, just so we can clean them better while everything is empty, because that smell really is strong and I want to get rid of it. Ta-da!
I'm just thinking after this we attack your mom's car while she's out of town.
Yeah, let's save that for another day. Look at all this garbage we pulled out of the Subaru. That's a lot of junk. Let's see what the interior looks like. Needs to be vacuumed out bad. And it is just started to rain outside, but we're nice and dry in here, and check it out. That is so much cleaner. It's almost, dare I say, sparkly in spots. And all the little bits of tobacco and junk that were rolling around in the floorboards are gone. It needs a little bit of shampoo, it could definitely use that, but I don't think it's gonna smell like a cigarette factory anymore. That is great. I gotta get the front seats back in, and we can get this thing on the road. Just like that, we have stripped out the interior. That was actually a little bit more work than I expected, especially the seats. They were locked in tight. But it's all cleared out, it's clean, it smells a whole lot better. So what are we gonna do now that the interior is gone? Well, I have three main options. The first one I wanted to do was turn it into a little RV, but there's really not much space in there. I wanted to maybe have a pop-up table and some places to sit, but there's really not enough space for that, so I'd have to be very creative with how I turn it into an RV. Second option is I could chop off the back and turn it into a little pickup truck, but I have zero welding skills, so I'd be teaching myself how to weld while working on this project. Sounds like a lot of fun, but a lot of work. Third option is I could turn it into a mid-tier off-roader. It's already pretty much base level good to go with that all-wheel drive, but I could buy some cheap parts and take it to the next level. That could be really fun. And I could do some combination of those. I could make it into an off-roading overlander, or I could make it into a souped-up four-wheel drive pickup truck. I mean, there are all sorts of options. So tell me what you'd like to see with this car. The next video is very interesting. We are going to compare the off-road ability of this thing against my dad's Rubicon. Yeah, I wonder which one's gonna be better. Oh crap, I just noticed something. This could be a problem. We're missing a pedal. There's only 2 of them there. What am I supposed to do with that?